Enjoying that magazine, friend? Have you ever wondered where that magazine came from? Where that marketing piece came from? Or how about that program from last night's show? These pieces and so much more come from your friendly neighborhood commercial printer. Printing is more than just ink on paper. From educated sales and accurate estimating to skilled prepress, press, and bindery. That printed piece is the culmination of hours of skilled professionals working hard to make their clients look their best. Let's take a close look at one important component of the print process: the print salesperson. This is Felton. Say hello, Felton. Felton spends his days identifying potential clients and maintaining relationships with existing clients. Let's follow Felton as he goes through his day. Felton is confident, and it shows. He knows his product, and he took the time to know his client. Felton listens intently to the client's needs and suggests a product that best meets those needs. Back at the office, Felton hands his salesperson write-up to his estimator. The estimator checks for the required information. Uh-oh! You left off some information. What's the big deal, you ask? Why, an accurate write-up is one of the most important steps in the process. Your write-up serves a number of purposes. It provides the estimator with the correct information needed to produce an accurate quote. It shows your customer that you listened. And though it seems like tedious busy work, it is secretly teaching you about the print process and products.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off, wax on, hat. Wax off, hat. Yes. Show me wax on, wax off. That!
Wax on, wax off, Daniel, son. Felton completes the write-up, gets the pricing back from the estimator, and sends it to his client. Who could that be?
You got the job.
That's just swell, Felton. Let's leave Felton now and follow his job through the rest of the process. Once the digital art is received from the client, it's sent to the prepress to make sure we have all the fonts, color palettes, and high-resolution graphics we need to print the job properly. This process is referred to as pre-flight. Digital color proofs are either printed and delivered to the client, or a PDF, soft proof, is sent to the client as a sample of what they can expect. Once the proof is approved, it comes back to the prepress department. This time, the prep department tells the computer to separate the colors into PMS colors or 4-color process. Cyan, magenta, yellow, black, commonly referred to as CMYK. With different percentages of each of these colors, you can create almost any combination of colors the client can imagine. The image is then etched onto a thin aluminum plate, one for each PMS or process color. Now, these plates are taken to the press to print the job. Specifically, an M110 heat-set litho web press is used. This complex machine is as long as 3 large sport utility automobiles and weighs as much as 4. The M110 runs up to 30,000 impressions per hour and up to 3 letter-size sheets per width of the paper roll or web. If you look closely at a press, you'll notice it's actually comprised of 4 presses, 1 in each unit or tower. Remember the 4 aluminum plates we made? Each of these is wrapped around a plate cylinder located in each tower. Now, here's Frank to explain what offset lithography is. Take it away, Frank!
This is a brief schematic of offset lithography and the process in which it works. Offset was actually developed in the 19th century, the late 1800s, and today it remains relatively the same as when it was developed, although the technologies and the equipment have become quite sophisticated. The basic principle still is that you have to have ink and you have to have water to make offset work. There's a plate, which we had talked about earlier, that is put into the printing press. In this particular case, we use the word offset. The blue represents the image area of the job, and the gray area here represents the silver background or the aluminum color of the metal printing plate. The premise being that you have to have the right balance of water and ink to fill in the image area but keep the non-image area clean. And in offset, the process works simply because the ink is transferred from the plate during the operation of the printing press to a blanket, which in this case is actually a rubber pad that is locked very tightly around what's referred to as the blanket cylinder. So the ink is transferred as a reverse image, and below that, coming through the printing press at a relatively high speed, anywhere again from 5,000 to perhaps 11,000 sheets an hour, you have the paper which is moving from unit to unit in order to pick up the ink and create the full composite image. And below that, you have what's referred to as an impression cylinder that squeezes the paper against the rubber blanket at just the right pressure to pick up the ink and keep it moving along and make the image as smooth as absolutely possible.
You're a bit of all right, chum! Once the paper has received its ink with the 4 process colors, it goes through a heated dryer that dries the ink. Although mostly dry, the ink is still slightly tacky. The paper now goes through a series of cooling rollers, each decreasing in temperature. This final cooling process sets the ink and completes the drying process. The press operator constantly inspects the sheets to make sure that each layer of ink lines up perfectly to provide an accurately registered image from tower to tower. The finishing touch is to cut the printing job from the roll or press sheet, or crease it, or fold it, or pad it, or stitch it. Bindery then bands the finished product, shrink wraps it, or boxes it, or inserts it into a highly reputable news publication. In these few minutes, we hope we've acquainted you with offset lithography and commercial printing.